we next attack 1 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Bears at Cleveland Browns. This is wild. I just love the intangibles and all that's going on in this football game. Let's start with the market. This total opened up at 47. It's still at 47 at Pinnacle, but there's been a 14-cent move to the under. So all the other books have moved it to 46.5. Heritage has moved it to 46. Cleveland opening up as 7.5-point favorites. They're now 7 almost across the board, but Pinnacle still showing the 7.5 at plus 108, which is basically a 7. Okay. Mike M says you don't think a shutout overreaction drives the total down a point or two and public dummies it down, making the over nice. I just don't know what – sorry, and I know we're moving on, but Mike M, I do not know what to do with Washington's defense at this point. I still need to sit back and learn. And if you guys have noticed, I've made a ton of bets in the first 2 weeks. You know, I'm 21-8, but that includes a couple pushes, and I've only made 4 or 5 totals bets so far. I've just been very pensive around it. And Pete Loshak talked today on Betting with the Bag about how he expects – and he said it 2 weeks ago, or sorry, on Loshak in the Bag, he said 2 weeks ago that he thinks there's going to be overs nonstop early in the season because they're going to be – because of the refereeing situation. And he broke it down beautifully. But let's move on here to this next spot on the board, Bears, Browns. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in Bears, Browns. 5,573 tickets in. And this is beauty. 54% of the tickets on the spread are on the Browns, 50-50 with cash. Then you have 67% of tickets on the over and 99% of the cash on the over. Now, it's a small sample size to begin with. But this total is right now dropping with all the money coming in on the over, which is tricky to figure out. All right, we're at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Bears come in off a 2017 home win over the Bengals. They were very strong in that game, and they looked poor in the fourth quarter and let the Bengals put up 14 quick points and turn it into a game. Dalton left the game with a knee injury after going 9 for 11 for 56 yards, 1 touchdown, and the 11th overall pick. Justin Fields played the second half. He went just 6 for 13 through the air for 60 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he ran 10 times for 31 yards. I said in my videos with Babano to start the season, I said, I bet you Bears fans are kind of sitting back hoping that Dalton gets hurt. I know it's a fucked up thing to say, but I really thought that they want Justin Fields in there, and now he's in. Dalton is week to week, and Justin Fields expected to – Justin Fields will be starting. Darnell Mooney led the way, receiving 6 catches for 66 yards. No one else had over Allen Robinson's 24 yards. And I wonder if that's going to be a sign of the future where these talented receivers like Allen Robinson are not going to get opportunities to put up big receiving games. David Montgomery led the way on the ground, running 20 times for 61 yards. Roquan Smith returned an interception, 53 yards for his first career touchdown. They got 3 straight picks. 3 straight times they intercepted Burrow. 4 consecutive takeaways for the Bears during that giant stretch. They were up 23, and things fell apart a little bit. 42-yard touchdown pass, Burrow to Jamar Chase. Then Fields got intercepted at the Chicago 25 by Logan Wilson, who brought it back to the 7. Robert Quinn had one of Chicago's 4 sacks. We talked about that in the offseason. 1.5 now in the season. He had just 2 last year. He was nowhere to be found last year. This defense is healthy, and it still has a lot to prove after the shit kicking they took in week 1. They're out for blood. Nose tackle Eddie Goldman was inactive after missing the opener. He opted out last season because of COVID-19 concerns, but this is a healthy defense that was disrespected after their poor showing at SoFi. Browns are coming off an underwhelming 31-21 win at home over the Texans. The score was tied at the half before Cleveland pulled away when the Texans lost Tyrod Taylor. What would have happened had Tyrod Taylor stayed throughout the game? Mayfield threw an interception in the first half. Then he tackled the player that picked him off, and he popped out his non-throwing shoulder, and he was 10 for 10 after throwing the pick. I mean, the guy plays with a lot of heart, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous seeing your prized possession doing that. 19-21 for 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Demetric Felton caught the lone TD pass. Harrison Bryant, 4 catches for 49 yards. Jarvis Landry sprained MCL ligament. He's being placed on IR. It's being called week to week, but it looks like Odell Beckham will be back in the lineup, so to replace Landry. Chubb led the way with 11 carries for 95 yards. Kareem Hunt, 13 carries for 51 yards. Here we go, Bebsie. What an interesting spot. This is the Browns at home as 7-point favorites. Is that too many points from what you've seen from the Browns so far this year?
Look, that Landry injury hurt. That sounds weird to say that. Say that out loud. That Landry injury. Sounds like I'm trying to say the same end to the word, but I'm not. Anyways, the injury to Jarvis Landry is that's going to hurt. I mean, he's been a go-to receiver. He's a guy who can catch a ton of balls in bunches, and Baker Mayfield likes him. Who knows what Odell Beckham we're going to see coming out? So that's right away. That's troublesome. But you still have Hunt and Chubb. You still have David Njoku. You still have an inspired Browns team. I think this Browns team is going to play great football this year. Yeah, tough loss week 1. They bounced back week 2. There's got to be a ton of uncertainty around Justin Fields. However, this team's got to be excited about it. I think they wanted Justin Fields from the start. The fans obviously do. Not a great debut, obviously, but he does give that Bears offense an element, and I think they believe in him. I don't know if they ever believed in Mitchell Trubisky. I think they're behind Fields. So this is it's sort of another very tough spot because, like you said, their Chicago defense is looking like they're playing better. Cleveland's got a banged-up quarterback and their go-to receiver missing. Bears have a rookie QB playing his first start. However, he's super exciting. So I don't know. This Browns team is well-balanced. This is a really tough spot. Gun to my head, I take the points with the Bears. But I don't know how you back a rookie quarterback in their first start. It's really difficult to do that.
You know, I think the Bears are the bet here. I think that 7 is too many points. Birdie says, does the under have value in this Browns game? Yes, it does. I think it does, and we'll ask what Bebsie thinks. I think it does, but seeing one giant bet made on the over, or I'm assuming it's a giant bet here. We're only dealing with 5,573 tickets, but seeing 99% of the cash on the over makes me want to just sit back and not bet it at this point. But if I wasn't looking at the market was a non-issue here, I think I would likely bet the under. What do you think of this total, Bebsie, opening at 47 and now 46.5 on the board and a couple 46s?
Yeah, Jimmy, again, I agree. If you're looking, if you're not looking at the action right now, if you're not looking at the market, it screams over. You got an injured quarterback on one side, and you got a rookie quarterback on the other side. To me, that screams not a ton of points, unless you're looking at defensive points, which we know both of these teams are capable of putting up. But yeah, that action, that market action, is definitely troubling.
Yeah. I just want to spend a little more time. G-Biz says, Bag, what does his first half look like? I was just looking at my stats, by the way. My average line is minus 112. So that's just a little mistake there under my NFL record. I don't have a minus 103 average line. I'm minus 112, and Bebsie's average line is plus 101, but that's beside the point. If we're talking first half here, Bebsie, G-Biz saying, what does the first half look like? I can't. I would just be guessing what the first half looks like, because I'll tell you what, this is why I think this is the final turning point for me betting on the Bears plus 7 here, is I loved that Justin Fields struggled a bit. I love it. I love that he's questioning how he played. I forget. I don't have the quote in front of me, but he was asked, what's going to happen next week, and and preparation. It was a very strict one-line sentence about I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be more prepared. It was very right in the eyes. It gave me confidence in him. I like that he struggled. I think he's going to fire here. I think he's going to be very good. Burgundy Bet says Justin Field rush prop, got to be a play, probably around 30 yards. What is your expectation of Justin Fields? Do you think he's strong early? What do you think about a first half spot here for J-Biz or G-Biz?
Look, I think unless they can scheme some open guys early and get his confidence going, again, I don't think Justin Fields necessarily lacks confidence overall, but it's still a rookie quarterback in the NFL facing his first start, coming off not a great performance. And this is a guy who has dominated at every level forever. So it's humbling. But Justin Fields he's been a gamer. I don't believe he'll be like previous Ohio State quarterbacks. He throws too well. He cares too much. I think this guy will eventually be excellent. I think his rush props are definitely in play this week. But I wonder, I worry more about Nagy than I do about Justin Fields. Nagy has given me no reason to believe that he can orchestrate a good offense. He never has. Yeah, I'd look at individual like rush props for him, but I think it's going to be a tough start unless Nagy is smart enough to give him some easy completions early on, give him some screens, get him out moving around, get that Cleveland Browns defense hesitating on coming after this guy, because Justin Fields will make you miss. He will cause problems with his feet. But unless he gets some completions early on, it could be another struggle this week.
I like that breakdown. A lot. Dennis Tressi said something interesting. Let me quote him so I don't mess this up. But he said, I might be doing something dumb. ... Bears alt spread +4 +130. I think Bears lose on a late game winning drive. I don't think that's dumb at all. But I do think that the goal of the alternative line to me is to take out the juice, right? You want to get the juice out of there. So when I see even a +6 at +105, I think, okay, I've done the job there. That's my personal look on that. But a +4 at +130 is appealing, and I don't think that's a mistake. But when I watch Whale Capper do that all the time, he's only creating a situation to cut the juice off. He doesn't go, but he does make bets on the money line, mind you. But on situations like this, it's just about making sure that there's a plus line, not a negative line. Okay, let's move on. Dommy Gunn says the historic numbers versus rookie quarterback +7 or more are a big against them against the spread. And Dennis Garcia said my number came to Cleveland -8 and 47. Okay. There we go. I'm going to move on the Bears at +7. I'm going to do it.